On this channel in the past, I have learned to pick a lock with paper clips, and learned how to crack a combination padlock. So suffice to say, my YouTube recommendations are full of lock picking videos because Google knows what I'm thinking. Anyway, a few days ago, I saw a video of a guy cracking open a safe like they do in the movies by moving a dial backwards and forwards and listening for sounds and things like that. And I didn't actually realise that this was even possible. I thought this was just a Hollywood thing, but I saw it on YouTube, so it must be possible. So I bought myself a safe, which didn't come with the right lock, so then I had to buy a dial lock, which is actually surprisingly hard to come by. And we're going to figure out if we can learn how to do this and how long it will take. First, I need to fit this lock though. Included tool, I set a random combination without looking at the dial. Now I'm just going to lock it and try to learn how to crack this safe. This is day 1, hour 0. So how is it possible to crack a lock with a million possible combinations? Well, let's look at how the lock works. To unlock this, you need to get this lever to drop into the latch, allowing you to open the lock. However, these little discs stop the lever from dropping. The discs each have a little notch called a gate, so that when they're all aligned, the lever can fall into the latch. The position of the gate corresponds to the number in the combination. The lock has a mechanism that allows you to set disc 1, then 2, then 3 to unlock it. So how do you crack it? Well, by exploiting imperfections in the manufacturing. You can see that when none of the discs are aligned, the lever just glances the latch on each side. If you're careful, you can hear where the contact points are even when the safe is closed. If one of the discs is in the correct position, the lever actually drops ever so slightly further into the latch. There's just a little bit more bite there. To a skilled safecracker, this is actually detectable. To decode the full combination, you try to find what number causes the lever to drop slightly. Once you've got that one number, you can use it to try and find a second and then a third to crack the safe. The skill is in detecting the tiny variations in the contact points and meticulously testing all the way around the dial. It takes a matter of seconds to find the contact points on the lock, so I jumped straight into working out the combination. To do this, most people I've seen use a sort of graph or chart to record how the contact points vary as you move the dial. I'm using a spreadsheet because, well, spreadsheets are better. Surprisingly, it only took around 30 minutes to check all of the numbers. Apparently you only need to test every second number. Alright, I am sure that I have one of the numbers. I've went round the whole wheel, turning it the whole way and testing the contact points, and I've graphed the whole thing. And if you look at the graph, it's really obvious one number sticks out right there. Number 78 or 79. This seems really clear to me. I'm really certain that it's got to be either 78 or 79. So now we're going to stick it on 78 and then try and work out the second wheel by starting at 0 and going all the way around again. Filled with confidence at the apparent absence of difficulty, I continued on to find the second number. To do this, you use the first number you found and test in the same manner. From the videos I watched, most of the time, the first number you discover is actually the third number in the combination, meaning that you kind of work backwards to crack the safe. That's most of the time, apparently. I've been at this for hours now. I think I've got one of the numbers, and I've went round the entire dial to try and get the second number, and they all are just exactly the same. There's no discernible difference for any of the numbers on this dial. At this point, I'm not really sure what to do. So the brilliant solution I came up with, I would do it all again.
course that didn't work. Why would that work? I've obviously got something wrong here. But then, I had a bright idea.
The only thing I can think of is if 78 isn't the third number, but is actually the first number. So what I have to do is do this all again, but this time set it to 78 first, then try all of the possible combinations.
I actually repeated this process multiple times over, even believing that I'd got 2 out of the 3 numbers at one point.
So one of these numbers is wrong. So I guess I'm just going to have to pick a wheel and start all over again and regraph and see if there's any change.
However, the learning point here was realising the precision required. The lock was giving up its combination, I just wasn't looking closely enough. To give an idea what I'm talking about, the dial is split into 100 numbers. Now imagine that each of these intervals is split into 8 or even 10 parts. To detect when one of the discs is in the correct position, you'd have to detect an 1/8 of an interval difference on the contact points. That's the level of precision needed. That sounds crazy, but if you spend all day with this, you start to get a feel for it. So I redid it all over again, this time taking an extra close look.
I've went all the way around the dial again, and now I am convinced that the second number is not 18, but is actually 31. Now it's a case of just going through all possibilities of the last number, that's 0 to 99, and hopefully this will just open. 60, 63, 70, 73, 76. Oh, what was that?
That took me all bloody day.
Hey, if you enjoy this sort of thing and puzzles, then I think you'll like my Rubik's Cube class that I teach on Skillshare. I guarantee that you'll be able to solve the cube on day one with this class.
Like all classes on Skillshare, it's concise, divided into chapters, has no ads, and has supporting documents that you can print off to help you learn. While you're there, take a browse around at the plethora of professional classes on Skillshare, covering a huge range of topics. No crappy audio, no shaky cameras, just competent teachers. A couple of classes I'd recommend are Thomas Frank's productivity class, just look at those reviews, and this class about Illustrator on the iPad. I also teach a guitar class for beginners, if that's more your thing, but there's marketing, music, graphic design classes, the list goes on. Usually Skillshare is less than $10 a month with an annual subscription.
And since Skillshare are sponsoring the show, the first 1,000 of my viewers can get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Just check the link below. And thank you very much for watching.